Hey y'all, it's Paul here. You want to find out what your date is into sexually without asking? I'm going to tell you how.
Okay, plus the unbelievable listener email that we got. When is it time to give up on your dream? This conversation had our jaws on the floor. It's next on the Hey Frase podcast with Paul Wharton.
Yay.
All right, warm up your fall weekends every Friday this month at Fridays at the Fountain in Crystal City with delicious beer and wine offerings and live entertainment. Paul and I will be there soon. Just keep up on our socials. Or if you want more details, head there yourself this Friday. Just go to crystalcity.org. Also, we love Pacers. Pacers Running. Hit up runpacers.com. They have several locations in the D.C. area, 6. You can go to their one in Alexandria, here in Arlington, Virginia. You can also go to Fairfax. They have the best running and walking shoes. They also have an awesome podcast all about comedy, running, life. It's called Pace the Nation. Runpacers.com. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Here we go.
What's the phrase that you hear every day?
Hey, Frase.
What's the phrase that you hear every day?
Hey, Frase.
What's the phrase that you hear every day?
Hey, Frase.
What's the phrase that you hear?
Donna.
Tune in, yeah, you gotta tune in. See the picture on the mic. Co-host with the most one looking fleet. Take it from me, you should be listening. Live from the nation's cap, pop culture at its best. No need a second guess, separated from the rest. Entertaining nonetheless, many topics to address. Sarah, she's so glamorous, the number one hostess.
Oh, hey, Frase. Hey, Paul Wharton. How's
Hey,
it
baby.
going?
Great. How are you?
I am so good. Welcome back to another week of the Hey Frase with Paul Wharton podcast. It is great to be here with you guys. I feel like we have so many topics. We have so much sexual harassment to talk about. Can we please all share our own stories of getting our own crotches grabbed? Now, let me ask you, because in my case, I was usually doing the grabbing. So I don't know.
I know. I mean,
you've been on the giving or the receiving end.
I've been on both.
I know.
Yeah, I don't think I harassed, though. I was just trying to make it obvious that I was willing in certain cases. If we could take the situation a little bit further.
Harvey, if you want to masturbate into a plant in front of me, whatever it takes, babe.
Well, some stuff just doesn't offend me. Now, I
neither.
think he's horrible for doing that to those women.
God, doesn't he look like he's got a tiny dick, too?
Ooh.
Oh, the
Who wants to-
tiniest little
Who
pecker.
wants to watch him shower, though?
No one. He looks so big, too. I don't even know how he could get his crevices. You know what I mean?
Oh.
When you get that large, because I've been a big girl, it's hard to get all the nooks and crannies.
But you know what? Hollywood is a great equalizer. It will really make you think that you are all that. The power, like,
That's
makes
the
people in their
truth.
head think that they're super hot.
Oh, he is so nasty to look at. Do you think this type of sexual harassment happens in, like, to this extreme in other businesses aside from entertainment? Or do you think Roger Ailes, Bill O'Reilly, that the entertainment business and the television and the radio business lends itself to just this stuff, and this doesn't happen if you work for, like, a bank?
Well, I think it happens all over, and I think a lot of people are probably down for the cause, because if you think about all the people that we know that have been CEOs or bosses at different organizations and they're having affairs with their secretaries, it had to start somewhere. And it probably started with some of this suggestive talk, right?
You think you're down for the cause if you work for McDonald's?
Oof.
I don't think this flies, right?
I don't know.
You know, your manager there comes up and starts masturbating into the fry-a-lator.
There's a different.
you're
Hey,
like,
listen. There's somebody for everybody out there. That's maybe not my particular taste, but you know.
I'll promote you. Day manager, just watch me masturbate into this fry-a-lator.
Well, let me tell you something. You know, I mentioned to you before that I had an experience with a Hollywood executive like this, right?
Dish.
So basically, I did this show in like 2008 on TV Land called She's Got the Look. And on She's Got the Look, we were looking for models that were 40 and over.
Okay.
So I was the model coach. Kim Alexis, the supermodel from way back in the day, she was the host. And Beverly Johnson was a judge and some other people. Anyway, so after that show was over, this guy calls me from Hollywood, this famous producer. And he told me his work, and I Googled him and looked him right up. And he was like, oh, we have a couple of mutual friends. And listen, I saw you on She's Got the Look, and I have a show for you. So, of course, I'm like, oh, my God, this is great, because I had just done a show for A Makeover Man on TV One. And then I got She's Got the Look on TV Land. And then we did that for 2 seasons.
This is amazing.
Now I'm going to have my own show in Hollywood. So I was like super excited about it. And, you know, he was like basically listening to my levels of excitement. And the more excited I got, baby, the more excited he got. So, right. So, you know, it was like the calls were during the day at first. And then like day 3 and 4, they were in the evening. And then he was like, then he would be on the phone and he'd say, oh, I got to take this call you right back. And the calls start going to like midnight.
Oh my God.
And then he wanted to FaceTime, all the while I'm thinking, okay, let me pack my shit. I got to ship my stuff to Hollywood. I'm going to get in the Hollywood Hills. I'm going to get me a good old house. I'm going to get me a fly old Porsche, blacked out. I had it all thought out. So then he was, he would tell me more and more, but he was baiting me and it was working. And let me tell you, by day 5, we were saying, I love you on the phone.
Oh my God! But did he ask you to do something? Like, what did he?
No, because the guilt comes in because you have this person finally telling you that they love you, and you're like, my show. Can we talk about the show? So they kind of switch it up and make it into not just something that like more like a relationship, and you're like, well, damn, I don't want to ask this motherfucker about my show, but I need my show. Like, I'm packing my stuff. I'm having my mail forwarded. What's my new address?
I love you, but first, can we ink this deal on the show? Then I'll really be in love.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, that's basically what happened. And he was, like, sending me these videos of him jerking off and all kind of stuff.
Well, look, I was telling you guys this before we came on. I mean, I've been in the entertainment business, so have you. I have a high threshold. And look, I'm inappropriate at times. So I have a high threshold of what I find inappropriate. Now, I've never had a boss say to me, I'm going to masturbate in front of you or, shower me or like, I mean, Harvey Weinstein now, they're coming out with, the New Yorker just did this unbelievably long but really, really good article about, I mean, every other profile was of a woman he raped or, he forced to give, like, she had to give him a blowjob. It's crazy. But I was telling you, in the entertainment business, over the years, I've had some interesting moments. And one of them was I had one of my bosses buy me a lap dance with a coworker and at a strip club. And I willingly went to the strip club. But the dance was so creepy. These two guys were so creepy while watching this stripper. She actually went over to them and said, you guys are creepy and weirded me out. Like, you're weirding me out and I'm done.
What?
And like, here's your money. Yes.
They were too creepy for the stripper.
Yes.
Oh, shit.
And that she sees a lot. And I didn't, again, I was like 26. I just like had a couple years old. I had a great job. I didn't know anything about it.
Did you ever want to say, nah, I'm not that into this? Or
the next day, I felt really slimy about it. I was like, oh, that could have gotten really, really weird.
Yeah.
And I know everyone was drinking and we're all buddies, but it just was like really inappropriate. And I mean, like, that's the thing. And I think what bothered me so much was when the stripper got up and walked away and basically gave him their money back. I was like, these guys are fucking weird.
I mean, talk
like,
about, I mean, what do you do then?
Yeah. So, I mean, I've definitely witnessed it. And I know you and I both know a lot of the same entertainment people, and I've heard their stories over the years. But it's just unbelievable. Someone like Harvey Weinstein, it's not unbelievable, really, but it's just amazing to me that he got away with it for so many years.
Yeah.
And you had actors, and the whole thing just keeps going on and on. Lindsay Lohan's coming out and defending him. Now you've got Rose McGowan and other actresses saying that Ben Affleck knew, that even at one point Matt Damon went to bat for Harvey Weinstein, because now we found out the story was going to come out, years ago.
What about his wife? I mean,
she's leaving him.
She's leaving him, but she had to know. Let me tell you, I moved with this guy. I had this relationship with this guy that you all know about. When I moved to New York, I left my good job at the CW. I moved to New York. I moved into the most expensive apartment I could find.
Again.
End up being stuck with the bill. But anyway, as much as I wanted that relationship to work, I knew he was no good. I knew it. I knew it from the way he looked at other guys when they walked past. I knew it when I couldn't get a hold of him on a cell phone. The nights he had to take a sudden business trip. I just knew it. And I looked the other way because I said, well, this is what I should be doing. Right. I should be in a relationship. So for someone like her, she's getting married to this. I mean, she's pretty hot also.
She's beautiful.
She's hot. She's accomplished.
I think people do anything for money, right? And a lifestyle. Yeah. And, who knows? Maybe they had an agreement where it was don't ask, don't tell. Who knows? But this just brings me back. I'm obsessed with Hollywood. So I've read all these stories. But do you remember when Corey Haim came out and basically said that there was like a whole pedophile ring in Hollywood?
Yeah.
And it was Corey Feldman. I think Corey Haim, he's the one that died. Didn't he die of a drug overdose? And Corey Feldman basically came out.
They're like one and the same to me. I know that's terrible to say, but
I know.
Oh, they are two different ones. Which
they are.
one
Corey Haim is the one that died.
Michael Jackson.
Well, Corey Feldman was the one that was really good friends with him.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think Corey Haim died. Did
he die?
Sure. I don't know. Will you look that up, Joelle? Will you find out Corey Haim? I think think he died of a drug overdose. And basically,
know.
he died of pneumonia. Sorry, maybe it wasn't drugs. He died of pneumonia on March 10th in 2010. He had a long history of drug addiction, but Corey Feldman, his friend, came out and basically said that both of them were sexually abused in Hollywood by executives, and there was like a pedophile ring covered up. Hollywood sounds awful.
It does.
You're like, so far you're like,
I mean, the thing about it is, well, when I see a lot wrong with these people who have a problem with it. However, I mean, when you think about it, okay, so I go to some boozy bar like Black Whiskey downtown at night. I meet some bartender who just got off work, real super hot and all that. We end up hooking up. Well, shit, I did it for free. If I could get a show out of it.
I know.
Do you know?
Yeah.
So some of these people, listen.
No, say it, because I think I know what you're going to say, which is some of these people are probably willing participants, right?
They know the road that they're going down.
Okay.
Because, see, I know stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
I know from the cocktail. I know from the conversation. And there's kind of a pathology to all of my conversations that I've had over the years when I started a bar with someone and we have a quote-unquote meeting. You know, I had a guy that I hired to do my security like years ago when I was doing all these events. My mom thought I was going to get like kidnapped or something. So we decided we were going to get me this security guy. And I probably shouldn't tell this. But anyway, so he comes over for me to interview the security guy. And, he's like, oh, I'll just come to your house. I'm like, okay. And I felt a little energy with the guy. And I didn't really like the guy. I didn't want to say no because he was cute, but, not really my type. But anyway, so I ended up hooking up with the guy. But I knew as soon as we had our first cocktail, I was like, oh, these questions, okay. It's like the same type of kind of, you're going down that same path. So, what do you think the takeaway is? Do you think anything will change in Hollywood, or do you think that this is sort of like par for the course, and that once you get to a certain level of power, it seems like these men, I don't know many women that are kind of getting, but maybe, I don't know all of Hollywood, so maybe there are a lot of women sexually exploiting men or other female actresses, but. Well, on the show the other day, on the TV show, I won't say names because I'm going to say this, I said, I was on the couch and I said, we were talking about Harvey Weinstein, and I said, well, gosh, watching him shower, no, what are my other options? And exactly what am I getting from this? But, I was kind of making a joke, but really, who wants to watch him shower? And then they were saying, how awfully.
Nobody, because he's so gross.
But I said, but listen, we're seeing what our president says about women.
Sure.
And everybody went like radio silent, and it was so crazy. It's just like this guy is Teflon Don for reals. He can do anything and say anything, but really what's happening is all these other men in these powerful positions are, either they've been doing it before or they're seeing him doing it and they think they can do it, and all hell's breaking loose, It
is pretty fascinating. And by the way, I would love, I'm sure a lot of people will email us anonymously. Email us and tell us, because I'm fascinated to see if this kind of sexual harassment goes on in other industries, because I do think the entertainment business I think it's a business where people openly, like you said, know and are willing to do a lot to get ahead. It doesn't make it right, but
I will share one other thing. Well, I got my first voiceover gig. I was really young, living in New York City, and I was at this restaurant called Sushi Samba, and I was laughing like, and I was laughing like a crazy person. I was so happy to be at Sushi Samba, having good sushi.
Was that like a 5-star place?
It was like the bomb.
It was like the Nobo.
Oh, okay, totally.
All right, now I'm with you.
So anyway, this guy comes over and he's like, "Hi, excuse me," and I'm like, "Yes." How can I help you? All dramatic. So he comes over and he says that he runs a production company that does voiceover work. Next day, I'm in this production company, and I am doing this voiceover for a cartoon called Ghoul School. It was on Cartoon Network. It was a cartoon short on Cartoon Network.
Okay.
And I played Dr. Diabolical, and he was laughing. So I would do that.
I have blown the speaker.
I would do that. So basically, this guy was paying me $3,000 for every produced minute that I would do this. Okay, the rent was due. Okay,
I
walked out of there the first day with a check for $9,000. I was like 21.
Love it.
So when
We're with
Ghoul
you.
School came to an end, I asked the guy if he wanted to go out for a cocktail. So we go out for a cocktail, and I'm like, so, you know, can we go? Have you ever thought about being with the guy? Oh, yeah, kind of. Have you ever thought about being with me? Oh, well, maybe once or twice. Yeah, what do you think about that? Is it something you think you might want to do? I mean, I was...
You asking him?
Yes.
What?
I needed
Okay,
to keep
but you
that
are hysterical.
$3,000 a minute coming in.
We have our own Harvey Weinstein on the show, you guys.
No,
Oh my
I was
God.
slow with it. He was like, I think I do. I think I might want to do that. And then we took a road trip to Philly. He was it was a straight guy. He was so worried, but I mean, I couldn't quite get him to go over. But he used me again for another job. That's really all I wanted.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love you so much.
But
You're
I was
so
willing
honest.
to do it for
Yeah.
the cause,
Well,
and the cause was my rent.
I think
Okay.
there were a lot of people who are willing participants, and now there are a lot of people who are very upset. But anyway,
Right.
email us, Sarah@heyfrase.com and Paul Wharton Style @yahoo.com, because we want to hear your stories. I just think that's, anyway, it's so wild, the Harvey Weinstein story. Unbelievable. CoverGirl has now changed its slogan. Do you like this, Paul? I thought this was really, really good. The iconic drugstore beauty brand is now ditching its signature easy breezy, beautiful tagline in something that is more empowering. They're hoping, because they want women to kind of own their own style. So they're changing it to "I am what I make up." You think that's a good move for CoverGirl or no?
I am what I make up.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's thought-provoking.
Really?
I am what I make up.
Oh, I actually loved it. I was like, damn, we
Yeah.
got to talk about this. I think this is so good.
I have a
That
new
was
one
so
for Paul
modern.
Wharton Beauty that, you know, because I'm really inspired to travel and I see a lot of things and meet new people.
Mm.
In fact, after this next birthday, I was just telling my sister this morning, I was like, you know, this birthday is going to kind of be a send-off to a lot of my friends. Like,
Oh, you're
really.
cleaning house?
I'm cleaning house. This is it. You
I
don't
could be
see
on
me
this
Sunday,
list.
you may not see me.
Oh, boy.
No, but really, that's the way I feel, because I feel like doing the same old thing, if you find that you're in the same place doing the same old thing and nothing's moving forward for you, you got to figure
Yeah.
out what's going on. And sometimes you got to let some people go so you can work on yourself.
Sure.
Because if you are always doing, you know, going to the same place for happy hour and doing things that aren't moving you forward, then, you know, you got to make a change. But anyway, so I was working with this new marketing company that's doing my ads for Paul Wharton Beauty, and I said, Paul Wharton Beauty, see the world, not the wrinkles.
I love it.
You love it?
I like it.
Because I'm making these travel
See
kits.
the world,
Not the wrinkles, right?
I like that.
Don't you
and
love
that's
it?
kind of like you're supposed to see the world in someone's eyes, like you're seeing, or
Well,
it's
you're traveling,
them.
you're seeing the world, but you know your face is taken care of because with my products. So
I love it.
I don't want to see the wrinkles. I want to see the world. I just get this little Paul Wharton Beauty travel kit, and I'm gonna see the world, and no one's gonna see my
Oh my God.
pesky wrinkles.
You crack me up. Oh my God. I thought of you this weekend because I was in Maine with my mom, and because my mom is really nervous that you're going to come visit and that we really live a very I guess I'm trying to think basic, maybe life, very
Basic.
rustic. I don't know if rustic's the word.
I
Maybe
like rustic more than
stripped
basic.
down, maybe like
Simple.
minimalist. I'd say is the
Minimalist,
word.
okay.
But I came back because I did yard work for my mom, and I just have these calluses on my hands, and I just thought of you. I thought, I don't know if I see him up here doing this yard work.
Are there snakes?
No.
Okay, I'm really afraid of that.
No, there's like very few. Very few.
Very few?
Very
That's a
few
problem.
snakes. Yeah. So I was just in Maine. I took a social media break for like 5 days. So I
love
didn't
it.
I didn't get to keep up on everything that you were doing, but you were saying that something happened. Did you have like a gym incident or something this morning you wanted to share?
A gym incident. Well, first of all, I went to Cleveland for a day the other day.
Yes, that looked great. I did.
That
I
was
was back.
fantastic. I missed the first flight I've ever missed. I've never missed a flight before. I got to the airport. Somebody was driving me, like the Lyft lady, you know, lovely woman.
right.
I was telling, well, you know, Waze says this way. She says, no. We need to go GW Parkway. I was like, well, Waze says I'll be there in 5 minutes. No. GW Parkway. I said, but it would tell me that. She says, no. We go, GW Parkway's closed.
Is your Lyft driver bossing you around? My Lyft drivers never have a fucking clue. They're like, do you want to run
bossed me
navigation?
around, but she was so sweet. I couldn't go off on her because she starts crying when she sees that GW Parkway is closed, and I ended up missing my flight. So she should feel pretty bad. But I let that clear thing expire.
Feel like crap.
You know that clear?
Yeah, it gets you through. It's like you're.
So they have TSA pre and they have clear.
Right.
So I had clear, but I let it expire because I never really used it. I don't know why. But anyway, so I signed up for that day.
Okay.
And then I also made an appointment for TSA Pre. So on my way back through Cleveland, because that day I didn't go, I went the next day to Cleveland.
Okay.
On my way back through, I went to TSA Pre to have my interview.
Oh.
So my friend is telling me about this TSA Pre thing, and he's like, whatever you do in the interview, don't lie. Meanwhile, they call my name right at this moment. This is a text message. I said, about what? About what? Tell me now. Tell me now. Don't lie about. I mean, what are they going to ask me?
I think he's saying
what
everything.
do they know?
Like, I think you have to be honest about everything.
I said, are you talking about charges? And he responds back, I pled them down. I'm like, well, I've never been charged with anything, so I'm good.
So what questions did they end up asking?
They really didn't ask me anything. The lady was actually, probably shouldn't say this, she was like a fan.
So she just let you through.
Oh, I was
Check.
just schmoozing
Check.
her. Oh, yeah, girlfriend. Yes. And my birthday girl, what you doing on Sunday? Come to my party.
Oh, my God.
She was like, oh, my God, I would love that. I was like,
Check.
So anyway, when can
Check.
I get this? I need to fly out of here tomorrow. Can I get this thing early?
Did you get it? No, it takes
well,
weeks, right?
They mail it to you.
Oh my gosh.
They mail it
Well,
to you.
good that you're back.
Yes.
And there's a couple of things we wanted to invite you guys to. Coming up this weekend is with our friends Mervis Diamond. We love them.
Yes.
They're doing a Diamonds and Chocolate event. So if you're in the market for a ring, several of you all have emailed us, or even a fabulous piece of jewelry. October 14th and 15th, which is Saturday and Sunday, you can see a huge selection of wedding and engagement rings, enjoy special savings, and how about a chocolate fountain provided by an awesome wedding vendor, Chocolate Chick. So they're going to have free chocolates, this beautiful chocolate fountain. On Saturday, this Diamonds and Chocolate event is happening 9 to 5 at 1700 K Street in Northwest Washington. A lot of you guys came to that anyway. Also at 1900 Mervis Way in Tysons, and then their Rockville location at 1775. So it's happening simultaneously at every single
Very
location.
cool. Very
and
cool.
then Sunday just happening in Rockville and Tysons from 12 to 5. So be sure to go.
Nice.
I got this incredible email.
Tell me.
And if you want more info about Mervis, by the way, mervisdiamond.com. So mervisdiamond.com is where you can go. I wanted to read this to you because I am dying to see what you think, because I've completely changed my point of view on this. Okay. So this is from a woman who writes to us, Erin. She said it was totally fine to use her real name. She writes, hey guys, I'm loving the podcast so much and so thrilled that you two are kicking butt with your partnerships and events. When you both speak about your careers, I feel like you're speaking directly to me, similar struggles and feelings. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on below. When is it time to give up on your dreams? Or when should that dream change? A little about me. I'm a clothing stylist and a director with a personality for TV. For the past 8 years, I have focused my career on styling fashion editorials for magazines, commercial styling, and art directing for a social media company. Freelancing the entire time. As you know, working for yourself, promoting yourself, having it all, and getting it all done is exhausting. I'm tired. For a while, I was on a really great trajectory, but nothing was happening fast enough. But I was still nose to the grindstone. When I was 34, my husband and I decided to try for a baby. He's 9 years older than me. We're not getting any younger. I never yearned for a child, but was getting bored on the weekends. Another brunch. I thought it would take a few years. It happened on our first try. Getting pregnant, having the baby took 2 years out of my life. My pregnancy was super easy, and I styled a shoot a week before his due date. Standing all day, etc. Styling is a very physical job. When my son was born, I started to question things. What things do I say no to? How much is my time worth? Is the hustle worth it? Everything just seems less important than spending time with my son. Now I race home from work. I pulled back on work for the first 11 months of his life. Then I sent him to daycare and started working a lot more. However, taking time off really offset my career. Photographers I worked with started working with other people. Contacts were rusty, etc. Now that my focus is on my son, I'm just tired of the hustle. I accepted a style director position at an accessories company close to my home. Oh yeah, I moved from NYC to a suburb. Was sick of the commute. I now work in an office 9 to 5 with a 10-minute commute. However, I feel like my dream as a stylist has died. I probably won't ever style for Elle. I feel like I gave up on my dream. Sarah and Paul, I don't think you can become Oprah and have a kid. I think you have to reach Oprah first and then give birth. My priorities really have changed. I thought having a child was going to be lame and boring. The pregnancy was, but life has never been more fun. My son is my best friend, and everything in life is cool and interesting now, which is why I really don't want to go crazy with work and just want to spend my free time with him. I have a lot of support and could leave him with family and go out and have fun and build my career again, but I'm loving hanging with him. When is it time to give up your dreams?
Wow.
I died. I was like, oh my God,
Doesn't
this is
have you
so
thinking,
good.
huh?
It has me so thinking. Because, my honest opinion on this is I think Aaron's right. I don't think you can be Oprah. I think you have to become Oprah first, and then you have kids.
Okay, with whose eggs?
Your interns. Adopt, yeah.
Yeah.
That was just AJ chiming in. I think you adopt. But here's my thing. I don't think, Aaron, I don't listen to this email and think you've given up on your dream. I think your dream has changed. And
Absolutely,
and
that's
fine.
okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that is completely okay. The same things that I want out of life, or that I wanted 10 years ago, things that I want now, if I got married, even just got married, I mean, all that stuff would change. If I got married and had a kid, it would definitely change.
Right.
I mean, if she told me that she had a kid and, I just don't feel the joy, I'm changing these dirty diapers, I'm miserable, the kid keeps me up all night long, what happened to me?
Right.
I used to be a hot New York girl, that would be different. But she's loving the space she's in. I think she is living her best life right now.
I do too.
And the fact that she's still working in the industry that she loves is phenomenal. I mean, I say give it some time. Give it till he's, 5. Check back in when he's 5 years old. Check back in when he's 10 years old.
And you know what I think too? So there's a couple things that I've learned over the years, because I felt like I used to be a person like, okay, if I'm not on national TV by the age of 28, that's it. Like, not that I ever gave myself an ultimatum, but I think I had set in my mind all these ages and what I should have accomplished. And I think that really fucks with people. I think you have to let go of the number, because everybody succeeds at a different time frame. And now I feel like really your career is ageless. There are more women than ever in their 50s owning businesses, running businesses. I read an article about a year ago that said most people make the most money in their lives between the ages of 40 and 50.
Absolutely.
Like, we're just getting there. So I think you can't put a time frame on it. I think if your dream is still to style for Elle, work towards that, because you don't know.
Absolutely.
But the biggest thing I think is when you're happy, amazing things pop. So I think focus on your son. Like you said, Aaron's working in the industry, so that's great. Keep working, doing your best work, and you don't know who will call.
Yeah.
I really do.
And the dream constantly changes, and you just have to. I mean, for me, I'm always thinking, kind of like the conversation I told you I had with my sister this morning. That conversation wasn't just on a whim. I had been thinking about what I want to do differently in my life from 40 to 50. Like, how am I going to change that up? Like, I remember wanting to work with Elle a long time ago, and I ended up getting a web series with Elle called, and it's still online, called Go See with Paul Wharton, and it was with Elle Girl magazine. Look up Go See with Paul Wharton, Elle Girl magazine, And I was like obsessed with Elle, and I reached out to them, and I got this little web series, and where we brought girls to New York, and I showed them the ropes about modeling, and then we picked a girl, and then we put her in the magazine and all that kind of stuff, and I developed her and all. It was just fantastic. So, but I haven't thought about that in years. Like, that dream changed. Did that, moved on to something else.
I know.
Yeah.
I do think the dream.
Keep dreaming though, right?
What's the dream for you now? Like, as you're turning, like, the big milestone birthday coming up. What's your dream now?
Well, I'm super excited about this book. This book to me is next level for me. You know what I mean? It's like, this is the tool that I was looking for in terms of, I have a lot of books that I've started, but this one I actually finished. So for me, the dream is really rounding out the brand and having products that are out there. When I had Paula Dean on my show in 2009, she said, "Oh, Paul, one thing you got to do is you got to make money while you sleep." And I was like, "What you mean, girl?" Have somebody jerk me off. What you saying? No, I know she was talking about some hoe cakes, but anyway, no, but what she meant is I need products. I need things that people are like online buying when I'm asleep. I don't have to always show up to make the cash. So my next phase is really following through, because I feel so accomplished from finishing this book. I want to have that same feeling in the rest of my brand. I want to finish some things that I started.
Do you want to have a kid?
Oh, there you go. I'm going through some shit right now. Why you got to break this up in front of all these people?
No, I don't know. No, because I go back and forth too.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I think it's fascinating that what I can relate to in Aaron's email is I don't have an overwhelming desire to have a child, but I'm just in that age where like now every time I go to the doctor, they're always like, you need to be thinking about it. And you're like, I do.
I think gay men have like 10 years over women before they start freaking out.
You
That's what I
guys
think.
always are lucky.
Okay, so women are about 35, right? That's like where people get a little
I'm
nervous.
35 and they keep saying to me, yeah, you should get on it. And I'm like, oh, God. Because I still have in my mind that the kid right now will derail the career. Because I already know. I'm like, I'm not stopping until I have a fucking mega empire and talk show. And like, I want to reinvent the way people watch talk shows because the old one is dead. No one will ever watch that shit again.
I love it.
But I get confused in my head that the only way to do that is not to have the kid now. So I don't know if that's me putting myself under unrealistic expectation or if I should have the kid. I'm always confused.
Well, take an inventory of like your energy. That's what I always do. Like, how much energy do you really have? You get up really early in the morning. You're up at Fox. You're doing your podcast up there. Then you're here doing your podcast here. And you're just really starting to experience some success on your own without working for the man.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly. I know,
So,
I
do you
feel like
think
we're
that
just
you have
beginning.
enough energy to do that, but before that, get up with the baby, feed the baby through the night. You know, the baby's got to feed.
Hell,
you have to change diapers.
No.
The baby still needs to eat in the evening. And I mean, even if you have a husband that does all that, he can't do it all. You can't just hand the baby off totally.
Okay, I think I'm going to push it. Because IVF, right, that's just when you inject yourself and it like soups up your eggs, right? Like if there's a few left working, if you just pump the
Sure,
IVF
you can freeze some too.
No, it's super expensive. I've looked into it. Well, maybe I will. All right, call me. Do you work for like a maybe I'll
do a promo?
I'll put it in the budget.
We'll do a promo.
Okay, who works for Shady Grove or someone, okay? Call us if you're into fertility. You know, I think I'm ready now.
Yeah, I just
Anyway.
think it's energy. To be honest,
That's a great
I've had to really
check-in.
pull back on my happy hour experiences. I thought that
Right.
happy hour equaled joy. What I realize is it takes my energy. I'm not saying if you see me having happy hour, leave me be. Okay, people? I know what I'm doing. But what I do know about this stage in my life now is I'm busy enough with work and, you know, trying to be somewhat healthy. You know what I mean? Going to the gym, eating right, thinking about my projects, writing, creating. There's not a lot of extra time to be sitting up at the bar.
Right,
You know?
right.
So I don't really know that I could take a kid on right now with my current situation.
I agree.
Yeah.
I loved that email. And I feel like, too, here's my thing is I think the dream always, like you said, is changing. I think there's nothing wrong with changing it. And I think there's nothing wrong with if you're happy in this moment, doesn't mean you won't do L later on. Because like you said, give it 4 or 5 years. But if you're loving your son, enjoy that.
Absolutely.
And I always think, too, it is complete human nature. I feel like from listening to other people and observing, no matter what path you take, there's always a certain amount of regret. There always is. I have girlfriends who have kids who are now having moments in their lives where they're getting divorced. They're 35, they're getting divorced, and they're thinking, why did I do this? Why did I do this? Then I have other girlfriends who are in their late 40s. They didn't have kids, and they're thinking, God, should I have had a kid? I really should. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I think it's human nature for all of us to always doubt and second guess. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But you made the right decision at that time.
But speaking of Oprah, it's really interesting to hear her talk about kids now. And of course, you know, we know she had a child through from a rape of her cousin
Right.
when she was 14 years old. She
young,
gave birth
14,
to,
15.
I think, a baby boy, and he died. But she has said she has absolutely no regrets about not having kids.
None. And she said, I could never do what I'm doing if I had children, which I think is true. And that's the thing, too, is I never want to be a parent and bring a kid into the world and then have them be the second thought, you know?
But the other thing about Oprah is she says that she didn't do it for the money. So I think it's really about what's the reason why. I think if you're talking about, I want to do that because I want to make so much money, then later you could end up regretting that, because once you get the money, you know, you're still bored, lonely, depressed. Whatever you were before, you just are that with money.
You got it.
Yeah.
It's so true. You got to do a check-in of your inventory of what, and you're honest to God, like, don't you feel like, because I feel like you have this, but you've got to have, the work has got to be a greater mission. Like,
Absolutely.
I feel like yours is always about, you want women and men to look better, feel better, be their best selves, travel their best way, see the world. Like, I feel like that is so the core of who you are.
Yeah.
You know, it really is who you are.
Because one thing I've realized is people think that they can't. And, listen, I have not reinvented the wheel. It's all out there.
Yeah.
But I always knew from when I was young that I wanted to, live well. Whatever that definition of that, I want to be happy. Like I told you, what total success meant for me is going to Whole Foods and not looking at the prices.
Right.
And that sounds small to people, but for me, that was my goal. Is I want to go to Whole Foods and get whatever I want. And I don't want to put things back, because I do remember when my parents were getting a divorce in 1987. I was 10 years old. We lived pretty well, but at the time, my dad, you know how couples getting a divorce, the guy tries to squeeze the woman out a little bit with the cash,
right?
And I remember going to the grocery store. I remember being she was like this or that. Now, listen, a lot of people had it a lot worse than us. I don't want to paint, we had a big old house and all that kind of stuff.
Right, that you had to pick between cereals.
Right. I'm like, I want both. And then down the street, Nicole Gerard, they had 30 cereals. And I was like, they have everything. And Oreo cookies. And Tang. I hate my life. You know what I mean? But that stuck with me. That little memory of being in the grocery store and picking one or the other stuck with me. And now I'm like, okay, a while back, I was like, I just need to be able to go to Whole Foods and get whatever I want from the grocery store. So one thing I always give people as a gift, when I go to Cleveland, I take everybody grocery shopping. That's my thing.
Yeah,
because there's a joy in that. I'm like, you want to go to the store? Yeah, I want to go.
Maybe that should be your next venture too, is you own your own grocery store.
Maybe so.
Seems like you that might be good too, because I feel like you enjoy feeding people.
I do.
Whether it's products to make them look good, or good food, or good drink. Okay, there's something there with that B&B. That B&B in Cleveland that's open 4 weekends a month.
Yeah.
4 weekends a year. Look, 2 stories before. Today is a bittersweet day for us because we're saying goodbye to our dear AJ. We're going to tell you about the big announcement that she has coming up. We are so freaking proud of her and can't believe what she's done in the couple of months that she's been interning with us. So 2 more stories, though. Paul, I'm dying. I read this article, and I really want to know, because you know people very well. An article came out by a guy who has studied psychology of people for many, many years. And his name is Charlie, I think I'm saying it right, Hohen. And he wrote Thoughts on Vegas and Why Men Keep Doing This. And he goes into pretty much detail about why we keep seeing men, and especially white men, doing these mass murders. And he's been studying this for the past 18 years. He's written a couple books on mental health space. And he says that mass shootings keep happening for a couple of reasons. Men in the United States are chronically lonely. Boys in the United States, just like human beings everywhere, need touch, caring, warmth, empathy, and close relationships. But in our society in the United States, we grow up that we must essentially be our own individual. We've got to be strong. We can't, this is for men, that they can't be weak at any moment. You think that's true? He says this plays a big role in why you're seeing more and more men just losing it.
No excuse, but I think it's true. I really do. If I think about some of my girlfriends who have, partners that are interesting, they're guys, whatever. They're interesting, different.
Right.
They have no friends. And I actually talked to one of my girlfriends about this. I was like, well, who does he hang out with when he's not hanging out with you? He doesn't really have any friends. And when I think about some of my other, white male friends, sometimes, they have business associates but some of them just don't have any friends. And imagine
that's what he says.
You or me with no friends. I don't know about that.
He says it's really big for men to ask themselves, do you have other male friends or even female friends that you can be vulnerable with? Do you have friends whom you can confide in and be 100% yourself around, that you can give a hug without saying, quote, no homo? He says that that's really...
Oh, fuck that. I'm not hugging you if you're no homo. Homo all the way. You better get a chubby, you hugging me. Oh, sorry. Is this thing on? Sorry. Oh, I thought you muted me.
He also says that men in the United States are deprived of play opportunities. I think this is amazing. He said that kids need to go outside and play. Yeah. Play is one of the essential things that encourages human beings to bond with each other and is also healthy. But he says over the years we've gotten away from play. Less and less play recess. You can't touch kids. He says that it's important for kids to either play an instrument, to dance, or he says even for boys to play a game like football or something where they're wrestling and working out some aggression. Not obviously hurting people, but he says that loneliness comes from the fact that we never have any playtime and really enjoy yourself and your company.
I agree with this guy.
So he says that some of the shooters over the years have a lot of these similar traits. He also goes on to say, it's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your kids are? Ever since the famous ad aired, parents have been shamed and shamed each other into watching their kids like a hawk. If you let your kid walk up the street alone, you'll either get a call from another parent or the cops will pick up the child. Our kids are stripped of their right to experience life on their own terms. Yeah. He says over the years, this causes anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts, and he thinks over the next 20 years, the epidemic is going to be in mental health issues for young people. You think that's true?
I do. I mean, if you think about some of your friends that live in the burbs and, out here, and then I have friends in New York that have kids. I mean, when those kids are like 10, 11 years, they're on the subway by themselves going to school. They're taking the bus to the subway.
Wow.
I remember when I was a kid, here in the burbs, I mean, we would have to basically touch in when the streetlights came on, streetlights came on. My mom would, JR, Holly, she would yell from the hill and be like, we're coming, 5 more minutes, but basically
you were outside,
from sun up. Yeah. I mean, from 9 a.m. in the summer, I would take my bike, honey. I would go to they didn't know where I was. Okay.
Yes.
I was out. I would be out I would take my little allowance and I would go. I remember sometimes it's probably, I don't know. I would go and have these, like what I thought was a fancy lunch, like at Fridays. I would sit there by myself at like 12 years old. I would ride my bike too far away.
You're like Richie Rich.
To go to Fridays. And they're like, is your mom coming? And I'm like, oh, no, I'm just grabbing a bite. I'll have a Shirley Temple to start. Yeah. But I say all that to say like that kind of, I wasn't that sheltered. They let me kind of do my thing.
Well, more... I don't know any parents that do that now. I mean, it's amazing. One last story before we get AJ on. A couple people sent this to me this morning. I don't know a lot about it, except for it is getting a lot of attention on Facebook and online. It's a story here in D.C. It's a campaign for creative dignity, demand justice for LGBTQIA artists of color. And it says D.C. artist Lisa Marie Thalhammer approached fellow artist Aja Adams. And this is about supporting Aja Adams to collaborate on an application for the D.C. Commission on the Arts and Humanities Public Art Building. The long story short of this is there is a mural that is now up right now on a women's shelter, on Open Arms Women's Shelter on 57 and O Street. And Aja Adams claims that design was taken by her, and she's given no money, no credit. And essentially she says that her work continues to be exploited by other white counterparts. Now, a lot of people are upset about that statement, basically saying that she should make this less about race and more about, creative rights to something. But if you want to support, or if you know more about this, or Aja, it'd be interesting to talk about it, because I will say the image that she originally did looks an awful lot like the one that they ended up painting on the building. Do you think?
And it looks exactly like it. It looks exactly like it. But was she ever supposed to be commissioned to actually do the mural, or was she just doing the design for the mural?
She was doing the design. And so it was initially a collaboration with Lisa Marie Thalhammer and Asia. So it sounds like they did work together, but then somehow she didn't get credit. So I don't know enough about this story as if, in fact, did they have an agreement that she actually, wasn't going to go on further with the project or not?
Did they ever say absolutely she did not, come up with this concept? Or how do you give credit on a mural? Is it just them acknowledging her work?
Sounds like she wants that. She's saying at the end of the petition, if artist Aja Adams is not paid or given credit, I demand that the work on the wall of 57 and O Street, Northwest Washington, be taken down, as it's violating the rights of artist Aja. So anyway, we'll see what happens.
I know that block. I'm going to go over there.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'm going to go by.
This mural is getting a lot of controversy, and apparently they're saying that this Lisa Marie got up to $50,000 for a grant to paint on that wall, and she wasn't given any credit. So we'll see what happens.
Well, I tell you, my friend Bevy Smith, she was writing about this the other day. There was a new documentary film on Netflix about an LGBT activist from, I think, the 70s and 80s. I can't remember the person's name, but she was saying that another producer stole the idea from these other people, and then he's the one who got the Netflix deal, and he's a white producer and all this kind of stuff. This is a black person, LGBT activist, and she started this conversation on her Instagram about people stealing things, and I mentioned that early in my career, I had some really great ideas, and I met the right people to get them done, but what I didn't have is any of my own legal representation.
Right.
And on the biggest deal of them all, when I was just a little pup, the guys basically said to me, well, you don't have to get your own attorney. Our guy will do your deal. Right.
Of course.
And I told Bevy, and I said, and then they all went and bought houses in the Hamptons, and I did not, because I could not.
I know.
Do you know?
And that's the thing is, like, people ask me all the time, should you share your ideas? And I think, to me, it's a double-edged sword. I've shared a lot. I've had a lot of ideas stolen. I think of it twofold. I think, one, if you keep generating ideas, like I try to write down 10 ideas every day, then you only get better. And you never run out. And you're not married to one idea. At the same time, I think you have to be smart. And there's another epidemic in the entertainment business. Everybody will steal your idea.
Sure.
Same in the art world.
Sure.
They steal all. So you have to be you got to be cautious.
For those people that are out there that are creative, you're writing, you're creating TV concepts, or you're writing books or different concepts, the simple way, the most inexpensive way to kind of secure your work is you go on writersguild.org. It's $17 if you're not a member of the union.
Yeah, there you
or
go.
$21, one of those two, 17 or 21. And you upload your work, either a Word document or whatever you have there.
Great idea.
And, you title it and you pay your money, and it will send you back a date and verification. This is the work. It's been captured as a television concept or a book or whatever. And that, in a sense, is a great way to secure your work so you can start talking about it if you don't have the money to get it trademarked or work with an attorney, because you're coming up with 10 ideas a day. But you could go on Writers Guild and protect your work, all the stuff you want to talk about. So there you go.
Great idea. All right, AJ is on the show with her last news and pop culture.
No! Why? You keep taking things from me.
Oh, please. Oh, please. Hi, friends.
AJ, we can't believe it. So you get to share your big announcement.
Yes, my big announcement. I'm following in Sarah's footsteps, and I took a radio job. I'll be a radio personality, 7 p.m. to 11 p.m., Ocean City, Maryland. It's Ocean 98.1. All right, guys? So, I know.
I can't wait. We are going to Ocean City, and we are going to show
although
up
Paul
like your
thinks
parents.
it's built. It's like Shantytownville.
Well,
it is called Ocean Shitty.
It is called
It
Ocean
is.
Shitty.
You see what I'm saying?
I get it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, there's just various beaches. It's kind of like what I think about the Jersey Shore. You just think it's like, kind of a redneck white trash hangout. But, it's getting better.
There's little gems in every little corner.
Look,
of the
y'all are
United
covering
States.
everything for me. I don't have to say anything. I'm like,
I'll keep my mouth shut.
I'm kidding. I love going to.
No,
It doesn't matter if you go to Dewey, Ocean City. It's a great summer spot.
Right.
It's a great summer town.
It's family fun, and you got to follow your dreams. So although it's a small town, small market, I'm going to come back, build a brand, and then have my brand represented in
I love
DC,
it.
guys. So
we are
thank
so
you.
proud of you.
you have
Thank
been
you.
awesome. Round of applause. You're
You guys are so
freaking phenomenal.
sweet.
And look, I just want to tell
You guys are so
because
sweet.
people ask all the time, how do you get into our business? How do I
Yes.
want my own radio show? And you were like such an example. You
Exactly.
pounded the pavement. You took a job with USA 9, which you were working shitty hours. You did every shift they asked.
Right.
Then you put yourself out there. You get this call from Ocean City. You go.
Right.
I think you're just sky's
Crazy.
the limit. It's gonna
And
be
guys, don't be
amazing.
afraid to reach out to people that you that inspire you. Sarah Fraser has always inspired me, and now Paul Wharton, you inspire me as well. But I reached out to Sarah, and she was so sweet, and she got right back to me. So if you guys have an influencer that you like, reach out to them. Don't be scared, and most likely than not, they will answer you with the best advice. Which is what Sarah.
I think someone just emailed me today and said you never respond, and I was like, that's just so weak. So
that was me.
endorsement.
That was just.
You never respond to my email.
It's hit or miss.
You're like, stop emailing me at 3 a.m.
There we go. We're gonna get right into pop and culture.
Yeah,
news and
let's
pop
do
culture.
it.
Did you guys hear about this crazy story about the father that was punishing his daughter? She's 3 years old. She decided to not drink her milk, and he put her outside of his house in the back alley, basically. This was in Texas. She's 3. She didn't drink her milk, and it was at 3 a.m.
I did.
That don't sound right.
But what's the deal? Is she still missing?
She's still missing.
Really?
There's been no
That sound
developments.
right.
I read these tweets from the Texas police. There's been no developments. She's 3 years old, and they adopted her from India, and she's on a malnourishment
Nope.
plan. So maybe that's why she needed her milk at 3 a.m. But it's a little bit strange. I don't think that. I was trying to put the pieces together, but it's a little weird. And then get this: if you look more into it, they had their 4-year-old daughter taken away from them and given to a foster home. So a lot of fishy things going on, but I don't want to say it's an Indian family and they adopted this Indian child and now she is missing and their 4-year-old was taken away. I don't know. It's really sad, but there's been no developments.
You're
on it.
calling what BS? You think something really bad's
He
happened?
did something.
He did
Something ain't
something?
right.
You think he?
And if you look at the pictures, they look like a great family. You know, there's a mom, there's a dad, and the baby, and they look completely happy. But yeah, behind the scenes, you never know.
Yeah, he's
but
got issues.
My thing is, what's your take on? I know we're talking about having a family, and both of you don't have kids, but what would be your punishment? I want to know. Like, obviously, you don't put your kid out in the middle of the night on
For
the
not drinking
street
the milk,
for not
she would just
drinking
be
milk.
thirsty
Right.
and in her room. I mean, shit, that's
Get
easy.
to bed and stop
Right.
bothering.
All right. Every little step you take is gonna be around your room.
Go to bed
Do
thirsty.
you know what I mean?
Step you.
Every little step you take. Did you see that movie House Party with Robin Harris?
No.
Every little step you take gonna be around this house tonight. You gonna learn tonight. Shoot.
I want you to have
never-
kids just to have your own reality show about parenting.
Oh my God,
Just-
that's the truth.
That's
Yes.
the honest to God truth. You need to have a reality. I mean,
Yeah.
start this now. I mean, you should already have a reality show,
when they become
but
16. So
Yeah,
they can drive
me too.
adopt kids from
Yeah.
they just think you have a
I'm gonna give you the
driver.
best 2 years of your life before you become an adult.
God, this is
You
terrible.
about to
I'm actually
learn.
supposed to go to a foster class, but if they listen to this, there is no way.
No, we got a lot to teach a kid. Tell you
How to
one
clean
thing.
my house, how to pick up dry cleaning, how to cook
Yeah.
pasta.
No.
They're like-
we have Olga for that. Olga's around. I can't get rid of her.
I was going to say, I don't know. I'm not going to deal with this because I'm going to have a night nanny. So
I have no idea. 3 a.m. I won't be there. I won't
be
in
there.
bed.
Yeah, don't call me.
Yeah, no, but this sounds really tragic.
Yeah, it does.
Though. I mean,
Yeah.
I know. It is always sad to hear that. But there's missing kids like every other. We just don't hear about the bigger story. This is one of the bigger stories, but it's
Yeah, the
it's
way it
crazy.
was done was so dramatic. Something's really wrong there.
Speaking of foster care for children, radio host Delilah. Do you guys know her?
Yes,
She is amazing.
Delilah.
Yeah, she's known as the
love
romance
Delilah.
music. She does, people call in. She has millions of Facebook followers, and they call in and she gives advice, and I just love her. She's all over the country. She gives to 150 stations. But so I didn't know this, but she has 13 children, 10 of
Yeah.
which are adopted.
Yeah.
She's big into foster care. I had no idea.
I did know.
And when the story came out, I mean, I had to research this because my immediate reaction was, oh, she's just not a good mom. Her son committed suicide. He's been in counseling and all these types of different classes for his depression. And do you have a little clip of?
I'm keep talking.
Delilah.
It's like
Yeah, but so when I first heard the story, I assumed, which you should never do, that she wasn't a fully present parent, but she really is, and he was in counseling. But she just posted on her social media that her son has committed suicide and passed away, and she's taking a hiatus from her radio show to
here it
mourn.
is.
Paul, you're ruining this for me. Stop talking.
Hi.
Hi, thank you for calling the Delilah Show. I understand you've got some exciting.
I don't know how you listen to
looking
this.
forward to in the future.
This is probably why.
I don't know how you listen to it. It's so bad. I mean, every
This
time
has
you
shaped
hear
my musical preference. I
Okay,
still listen to
so-
shit like this all the time.
you do.
Oh, every day.
Oh my God! Everyone is like, "Hey, Delilah." So
Well, their stories are insane. I haven't
know.
seen this man in 10 years.
I
but
met him
still love
online.
him. Right.
Yeah, I mean, you're like, bitch, you know the hell you weren't together with him. It's so stupid. I love you to play. I'm P. Diddy and Faith Evans. I'll be missing you.
Yeah, they play "Open Arms" by Journey.
Yeah.
That's like the jam. I have something for you. You might have heard it before. Now I could. And I got to pull the car over and cry. Oh shit! Oh God! I knew they was gonna play "Open Arms." I knew it.
Oh my God.
I have a sneaking
These
suspicion they will play
stories
that song.
are totally.
And here it is.
We've taken a real turn here. These stories
Sorry.
are like super depressing, and now
Yeah.
we've turned them into like making fun of everybody. Oh well. But this story is awful. I
not-
can't
it's not
believe it.
funny,
She
right.
lost another kid too, didn't she? In like
She did.
2009.
To sickle cell anemia. Her
Yeah.
other child, Sammy,
Very
How
sad.
old was the child that committed suicide, by the way?
he was in his teens.
Like I think like 14 or 15.
Right.
It's super sad.
Yeah, his son Zachariah took his life. Yeah.
Oh, how sad.
She will bring to attention the suicide, and I think she just promotes all these causes that I think are great. So we want to pray for her and give our condolences to that family.
Super sad.
But she's fully into the foster care, so she's somebody to look up to if you're looking into.
Yeah, she's done a lot of good.
You know, we talked about this before. Back when I was doing one of the good things that came out of DC Housewives was we partnered with Facebook and we did an It Gets Better campaign.
Yes, yeah, those were great.
And I remember having like a major moment in that It Gets Better campaign, and the other women were like, "Oh, this is so great! I got my blowout today." You know, it was a different kind of experience for me because at the time we were talking about all the, you know, young gay people that were committing suicide, and I feel this way about anybody that's being bullied or wants to commit suicide. But I remember having to really rationalize with myself that this can't be it, because I used to keep a calendar when I was a teenager. Did I tell you about this?
No, I don't think so.
And I would mark the days if I cried.
Oh, I think you did tell us that.
And they were like all marked up. I used to cry every day. I don't know what I mean, you know, at the time, it just seemed like, oh, this is horrible.
Right. Isn't it? Those years are so hard. Those teenager, I don't think your brain is fully developed. You know what I mean? You can't rationalize that it's going to get better. It just seems so depressing. And when people break up with you, it's like the biggest thing. It's really hard.
So any of us, if you ever see a kid out there that looks like they're going through something, and we know when they are, you know,
absolutely.
But right now it's like, oh, it's not really my place. But if you could just have a moment with them and tell them that it actually does get better, because you have to hear it from someone that has gotten beyond that.
Right.
Because as soon as that high school graduation happened, it was like, oh, okay, here I come, world. You know, I'm out. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. It gets so much better. I never want to be a kid again. I love being an adult. I love it.
Me too.
Yeah.
I don't even want to show my pictures of high school because that was a disaster and a half.
Oh, we should have done that whole like puberty.
Throwback pics.
Great.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love throwback pics. You should do
Yeah.
that. And then totally switching gears, this story is actually insane. There's now this company called Good Girl Company, and they're offering what's called the Sex Island Experience.
Oh my God, this sounds great. Yes.
It's insane. Sarah's all about it.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Trip for two, Dan and me. Dan would flip out, but let me tell you what it's about. So it's off the coast of Colombia.
Uh-oh.
And it offers copious amounts of cocaine. This is their advertisement. Copious amounts of cocaine, free alcohol, and unlimited sex. 60 women, prostitutes, and then 30 men. They buy the tickets. They're on this yacht. You guys have to see the videos. It's madness.
Is this real?
I've looked at like multiple websites, but the Good Girl Company has not given any comment on if this is real or not, or whether this is just an insane video that they're sharing.
God, we should go and do a video. This would be so
Is it a nice
epic.
boat?
Oh, it's a huge yacht. I've got to show you.
How much is the ticket?
I've never.
They won't
done
even comment on the
coke or
tickets. They're
any
like
drugs.
The
so.
tickets are selling out like crazy, but we are not releasing a price. Only those who know. And it's like, oh, so this is like, so Paul, you didn't get the invite?
No.
That's weird. That's really weird.
No. I'm not into this at all.
I think it actually is.
Oh, I would.
Well, it's insane
Would
because
definitely go. I don't know if I'm into the drugs though. I feel
I'm
like
not into the drugs. I can't drink but like 3 or 4 drinks. And who am I gonna fuck?
and we need to see the prostitute. I know, because
Right.
you get
I
there
don't wanna
and
pay for
I know
prostitutes.
they're gonna
I
be
can get it
60
for
years
free right
old.
here.
of course, the videos show these gorgeous women with like these huge tits,
Yeah,
huge ass.
right.
You come on, you're like, oh, what did we sign up for?
There's gonna be some hairy snatched gal like, oh, she's gonna make me look good.
And it's during Thanksgiving. So skip Thanksgiving, you go straight to Colombia.
This would be awesome. I would love to surprise my family and be like, guys,
Now,
we're
what were
going to
you
Colombia.
Googling to come up with this story?
Yeah.
This just came on and it was like, enjoy. Oh yeah, search my Google history. It's a little scary. I hope my parents don't go on this because it's like orgy, Colombia, sexy prostitutes. No, it came up as an article and I was like, this is not for real.
By the way, I know both of you are dating someone, but if
Are
you're-
we?
Whoa. Oh shit. Okay, next segment, right? But if you're not, you know, I have a trick. I have a little thing that I do when I first meet someone and we're like going on a date or something.
Okay.
Like for some reason, I'll want to use their phone. Okay.
Okay.
I'll say, oh, look something up. Go to your Safari.
Right.
Okay, on your phone. And then I say, give me your phone. And then I put in PO. That for like porn,
Porn,
and
yeah.
all their shit that they like comes up.
Oh my
so it's like, you know,
The secret is-
strangled, you know, it's like
Like porn
bareback
straight-
gang bang. It's
Well,
like,
this will be yours, I think. Wouldn't it?
you know what?
That is so good.
Can I
Oh my
fire you on
God,
your
you're
last day?
sneaky.
Yeah, I do that, and then I just go, I just like look at it and see like what they're into.
What if you
And
were
I'm-
with like a gay guy who's into lesbian sex videos? Is that like a no-no for you?
And you're like, wait a
Like,
minute.
what are
this
the
is
red
confusing.
flags for you?
Yeah, what? Oh, red flags.
Well, there was one that I looked up that said daddy daughter.
Okay.
Major red flag.
Yeah, daddy daughter. And then what was another one that I came up? Oh, and then somebody like had one time where somebody was shitting on him or something. I mean, it was like something, I was like, oh, this is just too much.
That is such a genius trick. I'm going to start doing
it happens all the time. I mean, I'm telling you, I just look at PO and it's like,
hi, excuse me. Can I use your phone? Oh, hey, Safari. Yeah,
you get to talking about something that you want to look up and you're like, ooh, my phone is in my bag. You happen to have yours right there. Let me see. Go to your Safari. So see,
and what if they're like hesitant? They're like, well, let me.
Well, because you're not going through like their pictures and all their stuff. They put it on Safari. They don't think anything about it.
True.
So good. Oh my God.
If I searched on Iggy's, it would be like puppies playing in the field. Like whenever I go over him.
So you think it's always those types?
No,
his screensaver goes back to puppies in the field.
No, he literally.
Sarah, what you think it really is, Sarah? Iggy's her boyfriend, by the way, y'all.
What does Iggy look like he gets down for?
I thought he's such like a Guido dirty type. No, he literally looks up like puppies playing in fields and like little pigs. And maybe I'm like so jaded and this is totally false.
Maybe he's into depressed sex. Like, is he into crying sex? Like,
is he a good lover?
I think he's really passionate, but I think we're very vanilla. We need to get some spice up in here.
Okay.
Don't worry, we got a sex toy expert coming in next week.
Yeah.
So yeah, you might have to come back. Yeah,
I'll be here.
Yeah, I think she's gifting us all sex toys.
Wow.
Yeah.
Before we leave, I just have to read the comments of this sex experience. All these people are commenting. It's hilarious. Booked 2 tickets. Should be a nice surprise for the wife.
Still doesn't beat Thailand.
Booking right now still doesn't beat Thailand. Yeah. I'd recommend it though. Maybe I need another vacation when I get back home from this. Yes. Anyway, these are hilarious. We'll have to go take a Facebook Live from the event.
That would be epic.
Love you guys.
Oh, thank you for all your contributions. It's been a joy sitting next to you.
Thank you.
You are absolutely phenomenal.
I mean, we have a close relationship.
We do.
Like I'm constantly, he's always hugging me, always kissing me. I feel very loved. So thank you. But in a good way.
Not in a Harvey Weinstein.
Not in a Harvey Weinstein way. I would
close.
Right.
We need an HR department. Like when you have a couple drinks at Carrots and Couture, like you kept like trying to get in her bosoms.
We were doing like motorboating, some slapping of the ass. You don't remember this?
That wasn't me.
Right. But we have something else to celebrate.
What?
You.
What? Paul knows exactly what I'm talking about. Your 40th birthday.
Oh my God.
It's you guys did it.
Yeah, you didn't. Oh God, what did you do? You got your gift?
Yes. AJ, where can people follow you?
You guys can follow me at Andrea Lopez Impressions on Instagram. And I'll just be following up all the time. Email me at AndreaLopez813@gmail.
Please do, you
any
guys.
questions about career stuff.
Check her out. Follow her. You have been terrific.
Wonderful.
We have Georgetown cupcakes for you because it is your birthday. Yes.
So you want to make me fat and unattractive. Thanks, Sarah.
Don't worry, I got one vegan one in there. But also, I got you a birthday gift I wanted to give to you on the show. I was just in Maine, and I went to this place called Sheepscot River Pottery, and it's from my hometown. And this gift is here. I'll let you open it, and then you can read the card later. But
it's a card.
But I wanted to get you this, and I'll tell you the story as to why I wanted to get this gift for you.
Oh my gosh. Paul, it's the Sheepscot River Pottery. Oh my God, Sarah, I'm gonna cry. It's beautiful. What is this?
Okay, well that's like the little flyer of their they make their own pottery. It's all like lead free.
The house is beautiful. Okay, I want to go there.
You know, you gotta come to Maine.
Oh, this is so cool. Did you make this?
No.
Okay.
He's like, don't give me.
No. But here's the thing. So I bought Paul 2 of these
beautiful
handmade coffee mugs, and they have like Maine mussels on them. Because whenever I call you, I love calling you in the morning, and you
my coffee.
always say, "I'm having my coffee," or "I gotta call you back after I have my coffee." And so I wanted to get you this gift from Maine. So hopefully you'll always think of our friendship when you are having and enjoying your coffee.
I love this so much because let me tell you one quick mug story, okay? You know how I went to Capri. It's like the richest place in the world in Italy, okay? Everybody's fabulous. I felt so poor. I'm leaving Capri, and I like to get, my friend Cidra's like, let's get a mug. You should get a mug everywhere you go. I say, great, let's get these mugs. We get these mugs, and they have lemons on them, and they say Capri. And hers, she breaks hers on the way home. mine last, okay? So the first day I get back from Capri, oh, I miss Italy. Oh, it's so fabulous. I pull out my Capri mug. I fill it with coffee, and my finger's a little wet from the coffee, and I go to put it on the lemon, and the Capri wipes right off on my finger. The people took a black marker and wrote Capri in the richest place in the world. It was a fake Capri mug, okay? So now I have something authentic
Legit
from
mugs.
Maine, and I'll be drinking my coffee out of this tomorrow, and I love you so much.
I love you too. Happy
you.
40th.
Thank you.
You guys are amazing. Thank you always for tuning in. Also, Paul and I have a survey that is up that is going to be in the description of today's show. If you could copy and paste that survey link.
And I want to
please
say
fill
one
it
other
out.
thing. For anybody that listens in the D.C. area, if you really, really, really like me and Sarah, and you really, really want to be a part of my birthday party, tweet us what you like about us, and I'm going to invite 5 of you to my birthday party on Sunday.
Oh my God, it's Paul Wharton on Twitter, right?
Yeah, Paul Wharton on Twitter.
Paul Wharton on Twitter. Hey, Frase on Twitter. Please take our survey. It's only like 6 quick questions. We love you guys. Happy
Bye, guys. We love you. Bye, AJ.
Nonetheless, many topics to address. Sarah, she's so glad